This is a European plum, all right? Came off his trees, all right? This bag needs to disappear before the evening is over, Imani, okay? Some of them need to ripen up. I've never been able to do this before. So I'm gonna start tossing these now, okay? So, okay. Oh, Kim, you ever catch a plum from 30 feet? Kay? Oh, Bob. Oh, look at that. You think Ben could catch this? You don't think that I will toss this, do you? Are you ready? If I'm short, you're in trouble. I am short, come to think of it. Come on. Ooh, okay. No, I picked one that wasn't gooey. All right, here it is. All right, they're going to be here. Bob, don't let this go home empty. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to have lots of fun here tonight. And I'd love to say we spared no expense to get David here, but David is here with Wild Abandonment. And we're going to have David and Jim here. I don't know when.
Not yet.
He assured me that he would be here.
I was supposed to tell you not to start yet, but I missed it.
Okay, so I talk on this side now for a while, right? So, how about almost a heartless ad Tuesday morning, 5:30. All right, we're going to have breakfast. Bacon. Yeah, so that we don't wither away to nothingness, Merv. All right? Yep. Now you're going to be there, aren't you? Yeah. Now you weren't here last Tuesday, all right? You've been sleeping in. See, I can get away with picking on you, all right? Mm-hmm. Remember the marriage ceremony, all right? Remember you're going through your vows? Yeah, the rings. But remember when I had you repeat the vow? Yeah. You had a deer in the headlights look. It was a beautiful thing. All right. Okay. So, how long can I kill time? All right. Dawn.
I got nothing.
You could. You could call him. Oh, there's half of them. Let's see now. You know, we don't really have any praise and worship here tonight. Oh, Lord. They don't need a glass of water. Yeah. So, would you bow your hearts with me? Come on, let's do that. Father God, it is a joy and rejoicing as we gather together. And Lord, indeed, you have absolutely blessed young David and his family. And surely in the coming hours and the coming days, you're going to bless him more. The issue of faithfulness and fruitfulness, Lord, we pray that you would meet their needs in such amazing ways. Show your hand strong, Lord. Show your hand strong. Lord, I pray for traveling mercies, certainly for David in the next 48 hours or so. Lord, bless him exceedingly. And Lord, your anointing and your blessing as we hear your heart here tonight, all to your glory, in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. And now we have spared no expense, the praise and worship team of David and Jim. Huh?
It's been a long time. I haven't done this, and I haven't done this in a little while. Is David on?
Am I on? Testing 1, 2, check 1, 2.
All right, we've done this
Doesn't
before.
matter.
We're professionals. You can tell.
Thanks,
we're
John.
Professionals. All right, so there's a lot of burning questions that people have.
Sure.
The number one burning question is, are you getting enough to eat, is the question. Because there's something different about you from when you left us. Is that too rude? Am I offending him by saying? I don't think I'm offending him. So If not, listen to Sunday's message. I don't think it's very offensive, but no, you look good.
Thank you. It's the beard.
It's the beard. Somehow not. So how is this? What is this? Is this the missionary diet? Is
Yes.
this the Georgian diet?
No,
Is
it's
this-
actually commercialism and promotion. So if you want to lose weight, come to Calvary Chapel Tbilisi Bible College, and you will not only grow in the Word, but you'll lose weight. How's that? No. Am I getting enough to eat? Yes. Am I feeling well and healthy? Yes. But when you live in a place where you walk everywhere, you're on your feet all the time. So I actually started to lose weight when I was doing the construction job before I left. And then once I moved there and you're packing kids and packing groceries and everything's just moving a lot more. We don't have a car over there. So yeah, everything's moving on your feet.
So you driving in the last day or two is the first time you've been driving for basically this year?
Not quite, almost.
Okay.
Almost. So the first time I drove into Tbilisi because I was asked to be a chauffeur for the wedding. Because the pastor who was doing the wedding is the one who has the car, and he's like, I need somebody to do it because I can't. I have to do the wedding, and someone needs to bring the bride from the house to get her here. And do you want to do it? Because he has the big Expedition EL, which is the same thing that we had here. And so he's like, I think you can drive it. How do you feel? So I was like, let's go. Let's do it. So we drove back roads to go to a construction place to go pick up some stuff for the church. And he's like, a couple roads down the road, he's all, you're good. We're good. Maneuvering around like some of those tight European-looking things and oncoming traffic. He's like, this will work.
And the,
so I
bride,
drove.
and the bride was fine as you were taking her to the wedding?
The bride was so good. She was so happy she
Wow.
could care less. She didn't care
You
about
didn't tell
me.
her it was your first time driving in Georgia?
In Georgia. No, I didn't
Perfect.
tell her that.
That's great.
I didn't tell her that. But actually, it was perfect because Georgia's a developing country, so not third world, definitely not, but not EU. So you can kind of bend the rules a little bit. So on the way to the airport, there's a turn that comes like this to a stop sign, and it's technically 2 lanes. You're waiting for it to turn green, and then everyone turns left. And as you come down, there's always 3 to 5 lanes of cars coming down. And so the taxi drivers will always take the farthest left and just sit in the oncoming traffic lane, knowing that it's going to be green fast enough for them to get in front of everybody and go. So driving's a little bit different. And when I went to go pick up the bride, they happened to be doing a construction thing. And there was a broken car here, and there was nowhere to park anywhere near where the bride was. And so I just put my hazards on and got really close and brought my mirror in and parked right next to the dead car. And everyone was looking at me, but once the bride came out, they're like, oh, that's why he was okay doing that.
So you were
And
driving like a local?
driving like a local.
Perfect.
I also got to drive in Germany when we were there. So that was fun.
Who are these people that are letting you just drive their cars? And
Crazy missionaries.
Wow.
Crazy missionaries that say, come on over and let's do this. So yeah, in Germany, when we were staying with them, they had a 9-seater van and a little 5-seater car. And so between their family of 6 and our family of 8 is 14. So we filled them both up perfectly. And so sometimes I was in the 5-seater and we did our family in 2 trips. And then sometimes they let me have the van. And so I took the van on the Autobahn, going 130, and Amelia's in the back going, Dad, there's no speed limit. Go faster, go faster. Who cares? And I'm like, the van only goes about 140. Now that's kilometers, so it's not miles per hour, but it's still 80, 85. But yeah, that's where the pastor likes to keep it, is about 140-ish kilometers.
Okay. So let's see. Where is Mom back there someplace?
My
where'd
mom?
go? No, my mom. I mean, my mom, my wife, my mom.
Who's
I was
jet
asking-
lagged? Who's
I
jet
was
lagged here?
asking- No, hold on. I was asking Xander if his mom, my wife, was back there.
I don't see her.
She's coming. Perfect. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, don't worry about the pictures, but perfect. Okay, the pictures are in no particular order then. Okay, hey, Don, yes, as you load those up, I'll let you do that for a little bit there. David, can you give us a summary of the first half year? Give us just the big picture of the last 6-7 months. The biggest one here. I know you want to get into details, and we will in some, but like, what's a big picture from the last time when we prayed for your family, and you guys sent off in January? What's a big picture of what you see the Lord having done in your life, your family's life, or a really big picture?
I thought the questions were supposed to be easy.
There's probably a lot of answers to
There's
the
a
question I
lot of
gave you.
answers.
Just
Okay.
pick one, the first one that comes to your mind.
So I'm thinking like, you have expectations of what you think you're doing. And I remember I told everybody, this is what the Georgian language looks like, and we think it's similar to Russian, but I don't really know it. And I was very wrong, and I lied to you all, so I apologize. Their language is no way associated with Russian, and it's a very difficult language to know. It's one of the oldest languages on the planet. They're very proud that it's their own language and not Russian at all. So you go in with expectations thinking, well, language will be a barrier, but I know a little bit, and then you realize you don't have a clue about that. Or you think that you walk to the grocery store, or you've been in foreign countries and walked to the grocery store, and it's still a grocery store, but they have more mini markets everywhere. So you have to kind of figure out this mini market has the milk that is right, and this one has the eggs that are good, and this one has flour, and this one has sugar. And so the things that you don't think will be weird or that will be difficult are difficult. And so you can't go into these, we've learned to not have expectation. We've learned to let those expectations go and just kind of walk into things, taking what comes your way, and just being ready to tackle hurdles as they come, if you will.
And have you seen that with Amanda and your kids as well, also learning that lesson, like being flexible and it's not what you expected, we have to roll with it kind of a thing?
Definitely, all the time. All the time you're rolling with it. So, like, I think one of the biggest things and one of the hardest things is getting the food that our family needs to eat, because we're a Costco-sized family. So we need to go get boxes and boxes of cereal, and milk by the gallons, and milk is in the liter, and cereal is rare. They don't eat cereal as much over there. It's more of a yogurt and muesli porridge or a loaf of bread for breakfast type culture. So that changes a little bit, and I think trying to figure out how to feed the family is still something that we're growing in without just going, let's order pizza. Let's order pizza. Let's just keep ordering pizza because we can do that. So they have a thing like DoorDash there, and everybody uses it. And so you have to kind of learn how to use this app to find the food that you need at the grocery store that you need, because you can't get around everywhere on bus to bring everything back. So they bring it to you. And so figuring all that out and then getting the phone call in Georgian that says, hey, we don't have this. And like, hey, I don't understand you. Can I talk to someone in English? And then they talk to you in broken English and say, the cheese you ordered isn't here. Do you want a different cheese or cancel the order in a broken language? And you're like, just cancel it. Just, I don't know, cancel it. And so those sorts of things are just the challenges that you didn't expect coming into. And then, yeah, definitely learning to grow from those. I think when we went over there, I had the expectation that I'm going to be learning in the school, which I am learning in the school, and we're having the experience in the school. But we're getting a lot of missionary learning and what that's like to be somewhere else. And that's where the pastors and the staff and the pastors' wives have been so great, to be able to be like, don't feel like you're crazy. You're not the only one having a hard time. We've been here for 10 years, and we still don't get what we want. Try to order this peanut butter from this place, and try this, and I can take you out to that place, and we can go find these things, and you're not alone in this. And it's so funny when Amanda gets together with another wife, and they're like, I went out, and I had this and this and this that I was going to accomplish for the upcoming women's thing or whatever. I was going to go do these things. 4 hours later, I come back with nothing. Like, none of it was there. The store was closed. And then the pastor's wife's like, I had the same thing happen. I found tissue paper, and I didn't buy it because it was somebody's birthday coming up. And I was like, I'll get it later. And then you go to that store, and it's not there. And I can't find this, and I can't find that. And so those things where they come together and just learn and grow together is really fun. And so it builds a lot of unity and community together with the other pastors and the leadership in the church as you're going through those things together. Does that sort of answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like, okay, the ministry, the reaching people for Jesus, and you're talking about just trying to feed your family.
Yeah.
And by that, you don't mean, okay, just to maybe calm some fears here, is your family starving?
No, we all have food. We're all eating plenty well. We're all growing. Micah just had his birthday, so we measure everybody at their birthday.
Can we put up a
She's gone.
So she's gone.
We'll talk about Micah again.
No, it's fine. It's
Micah is
just a picture of the family. If you could put one up of as many of the family members, would be
he
great.
broke 6'2".
He's taller than you are.
Taller
then.
than I am. Yeah, by 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So everything. You name it, everything. Anything and everything you can. Yeah, so we are not starving. I'm not trying to say that we're starving, but when you're trying to plan a meal, you have to get these things together.
Is the size of your family unusually large for Georgia?
Yes. For Georgia, yes, but not for the missionaries. It's pretty cool. So the pastor who started the church, he has 6 kids. They're older because he's 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me maybe. So his kids are older. The other pastor who's there, he has 4, and then the other pastor who's there has 4. So the American missionary families are all larger, but the Georgians, yeah, they typically have 1 or 2 children,
Gotcha.
typically.
So your kids take over the playground when they show up?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a blast. We take over the skate park, we take over the playground.
Your mic, just your pack, your actual
Mic
pack.
pack.
Yeah, to the other side of your body. Let's try that.
Did that change anything?
Maybe
I
for the
hear-
people online.
I hear myself.
Can you hear yourself? There you go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you.
So then, the school you're going to is Calvary Chapel Bible College, Eurasia. Is
Correct.
that correct?
Yep.
Are you the grandpa of the class when you show up?
No, father.
You're the father.
Father, yeah.
Got it. Because how old is the next youngest person in the class on average?
22. So we had kids 22 to, she's 8. She turned 18. 18.
18
One of
to
the pastor's
22.
kids, yeah.
Right.
So
And
there
you
were
are just approximately.
approximately 41
Got it.
or 2. I was born in 83. Can you do the math for me? I'm jet lagged. I don't know. So
What is that dynamic like in the classroom?
it's actually super cool. Like, it's fun. It's fun because we're doing life together and class together, and we're doing outreach together and class together. And so we're sharing things about our life. And one of the things that we did for outreach class was to share our testimony and things. And so they would ask me to do it first a lot and be like, hey, so can you share your testimony? And then people were like, oh, I had no idea. And that kind of helped break the ice for people to be more comfortable to share their side of their stories and things like that. And then a couple, I don't know when it was, when we were starting to go through those processes and growing together as a team and a unit, they started to call me Father Ice. So they would look to me for things. And when we were on our 10-day outreach, they actually, like, a couple of them were like, man, I'm struggling with this, or I'm super grumpy today, or what's the deal with that? And so, or did I handle this okay with the person on the team? Like, what do you think I should do? And I was like, well, is it bothering you? Because you're talking to me, which means it's bothering you, right? And they're like, yeah, but I could just let it go. And I was like, you could, but next time you're in this situation, or do you want to do that with that person? And so having some of that wisdom or age that I have, I was kind of not a leader, but I got to be an example to them and be Father Ice to them, and that's pretty cool, to be able to do that. So, yeah, there's no age limit on it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic to have, to be a leader within the class as well. So I'm sure that the instructors, the pastors also look to you for some leadership as well.
Yeah, I talked to them all a month in maybe, and I'm like, how much, am I answering too much? Am I not answering enough? What more do you want from me in the class? So like, we're going through the book of Romans, or we're going through Acts, and not like I'm a genius, but like I've taught through some of those things, and I've read through those things more than some of the students have been alive. So like, when you ask the questions, I don't want to just answer them all, blurt them out, because then they're not going through the thought processes themselves. And I want them to have the thought processes. And then they're bringing things that I'm not thinking of, so I'm learning from them, 18 to 22-year-olds, because my brain's thinking like a 42-year-old dad who's in a different country, and they're thinking as a 20-year-old that's looking at missions going, well, this is what it means to me. And so I'm learning from them, but also like trying to balance that out of how much involvement do you want from me? How engaged do you want me? So I tried to find that balance with each instructor within the class and how to do that.
So then another practical thing, the cost of living there in Georgia, your finances, things like that. I just want to like knock down a couple things. I
Sure.
definitely got questions like, okay, so we've figured out guys aren't starving.
I'm not starving, no. Another
Right.
thing is we have a workout group called Nomads Workout. So I did start actually exercising as well. So you put on the walking, and then after I graduated, so from May to July, I spent time working out, and we do calisthenics. So we're doing pull-ups and push-ups and things like that. And I didn't used to do those, and so I couldn't do a pull-up when I started. And when I left to go to Germany, I did my first 2 pull-ups with
There you go.
no weighted bands.
There you
So
go.
we use elastic bands to help ourselves pull up and things like that. So
So let's hold this picture here for just a second.
Yep.
Let's go back one more, please. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your bride, Amanda, and how things have been for her. Because right now she's got all the kids.
she's got all the kids. She's very tired.
Yes.
The reason that we're so tired, let me put this little information in. We just did a a trip through Germany that was about 6, almost 7 weeks. And we came back and flew from Munich to Tbilisi on Friday and landed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, Tbilisi time. I bought my tickets on Saturday, and then I jumped the plane on Sunday after church.
To come here.
To come here. So we were on, like, we weren't resting. Well, how do I say this the right way? Missionary life's awesome because you're serving and you're going and you get to see super cool things. Like we went to, like just throwing things out there, we went to Worms, that's how they say it, it actually looks like worms to us, where Martin Luther was condemned in the Catholic Church. And so we got to see that, like where it happened, and they have these big statues and everything, so it's really cool, you get to see stuff like that. But you're also serving, so we were doing kids camp and that sort of thing, and so you're plugged into the ministry that's happening there, we got to teach there, and so you're getting to mix seeing amazing things and do different things you would never do before mixed with service, and that's awesome. So we got little breaks throughout the 6 to 7 weeks, but we were going, and it was a go. And then we came home, and we were going to have the week to chill, and then this happened. So that's why we're here, and we're tired, and Amanda's like, we're all just trying to get our bearings, and now Dad's gone, let's go. Let's figure this out.
So
But how she's doing,
Yes.
she's holding it together this week, but overall how she's doing,
Yes.
she has loved Europe and going to Germany and going through Denmark, which is where her family's from. So we were able to see where her family came over and ride the train right through the area where that was and go, oh, Denmark looks just like Ferndale. No wonder they came to Ferndale. And that's why they're here. And she's like, this is amazing. And she's like, and of course the butter tastes better here. We had bread and butter or whatever. And I'm like, this is amazing. And so just having that life coming out of her and seeing that opportunity, she's always wanted to have these opportunities.
And
So
she's the
that's
one
great.
that had that missionary heart before you.
Long
Is that-
before.
Long before.
Yeah. When she was 17, when she was 15, she's like, I'm going. And when she was 17, she went. And she's wanted to go back ever since. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. She's excited. She's thriving. She's also recognizing the amount of stress that it has when we're constantly in change and constantly going through all those things and trying to keep it at the balance of out of chaos, still having it in control, but yet you're constantly moving and jumping trains, and that puts a lot of stress on her and my leadership to try to lead and help the family. So we've been having conversations, real conversations about what that looks like for our family as a unit. And so that's kind of the reality of where we're at, but she's doing well. You could definitely be praying for her as she just tries to manage the home and as school's starting, so I'm going to be gone more. It was a little easier or a nice transition when I was working at the church in Tbilisi or interning there at the beginning of the summer because I had a little bit of a flexible schedule, and it was flexible enough I could bounce back and forth, but it was also structured enough. I knew Wednesday night I'm here, Sunday looks like this, and so we were able to set that schedule and have that understanding. Now I'm going back to classes on Monday, and I don't know what that schedule looks like because I'm supposed to find out at orientation tomorrow, but I'll miss it. But I'm going to have that schedule structure and that homework pattern, and then getting ready to start the kids in school. So she's got those things she's kind of planning and prepping and getting all those schedule things in order and what it'll all look like. So
So the idea of you not being there, it's because you're going to be at school
yeah.
for the day.
Yeah, so typically they're 2 to 3 hour classes depending on what they are, which class they are, but you'll have like a morning and then some days it's like 9 to noon and then 1 to 3. And so you're basically there all day. Sometimes you'll have a 9 to noon and then a 2 to 5 because you're going to somebody else's house. The mission directors has her classes at her house. So that's like a 20-minute walk. So
20-minute walk to class.
to walk to class, yeah. So that's why it's later, but then you're there till 5. But then that affects the family for dinner because we were all going to that. So it's like, how do we get dinner in the crock pot or what, all those things, all those logistic things.
Gotcha. So to get out this detail here, financially, how are you guys doing? Because you're 8 months or so, 7 or 8 months into this here. How are we doing? Because we've sent you for a year. How has it been looking for you? I mean, I know because we've talked, but just so that
Yeah.
everybody kind of has a general idea for you guys.
So first of all, thank you. Because we wouldn't be doing this without this body of people that's here. Because between Telios, the church, that has basically said, we're going to pay your rent and utilities. And then the body of you that are also giving to Telios or giving to Go Ministry that's coming to us, you are about 80 to 90% of our donations that come in, so the support that we get. So you guys are basically sending a missionary and his family over there and taking care of that. So thank you. Like you guys are, we wouldn't be doing it without you, 100%. That's a huge thing. How we're doing, we are doing, okay, we're doing this number. I was just talking to Jim about it. So we're doing this number and that we're making it by. We didn't have all the money for our trip to Germany, but we knew that going into it. So we had savings that we took for that sort of a big outing and adventure that we took.
The summer trip to Germany.
The summer trip to Germany, yeah. Because that was a big deal, stuff like that. But depending on what the Lord does and where we go from there, if we were to stay longer term or do something longer mission-wise, we would need to raise more support so that the burden wouldn't all be on Telios and Telios' body, so that we could get more support. So we would have money in cases of emergency like this to fly back, would already be sitting in savings, or so we could have money set aside for summer trips. Because the things that we did this summer, our kids are like, we're doing that next year, right? We're doing this next year, right? We're going to be doing that, right? And so they're all things that we would want to be able to save and have planned to be able to do. So that's long-term down the road. But for the study of through December, we're at a fairly level plane of what we're at and what we need financially. Does that answer that?
I think
Well,
so. Yeah, I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
And again, thank you guys.
The reason that you're here, I'd say almost everybody knows, but maybe folks are watching or whatnot. The reason that you came is in the middle of this year of being gone to Georgia.
Yeah, so my father, Dan Ice, just passed away not last Friday, but the Friday before, so a week and a half ago. So that's the reason I'm here. We just had his memorial service at 1 o'clock today at Calvary Eureka. So we were celebrating his life and having an opportunity for a bunch of people to share how he impacted their life and what his ministry was, and it was a blessing to hear exciting stories and the legacy he's leaving behind and the impact that he had on the Humboldt County area and people's lives. So that was really neat and really good for me to come back, hear that, and be a part of it, and it was something I knew that I wanted to do for me, for appropriate closure on his life and for family, and to be here for that. We found out his health was declining. Well, as many of you know, he's had health things for a while. But his health started to decline a lot in June, and we didn't really expect that to be while we were gone for this year. So it was expected, but not expected to be while we were gone, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that's how I can say this up here without crying, because we've sort of walked through these things in our mind. But yeah, he declined a lot in June, and then, what was it, July? Now here we are, August, and he's passed. So that's what brought me back, and why it's just me and the family, and not a vacation trip. But since we're here and Jim asked, I was like, absolutely, yes. Of course I want to be here and see you guys and share and thank you and give back to you. So,
Well, if we can put up, let's see here. There was a picture of the church, I believe. It's like from the back of the room. I think that was like a historic church, but like that one right there. Tell us a little bit about Sunday morning, Calvary Chapel, Tbilisi.
okay.
Yep, and what's been going on at Calvary Chapel, Tbilisi? Is it growing? What's the demographic in Tbilisi? Is it older, younger? Are they all Georgian?
Totally boring. Look at it.
They're all just sitting there doing nothing.
Calvary Tbilisi, this is taken from the back of the church, and it is jam-packed. And Georgia has a late culture. So when the pastor started, what I mean by that is...
Oh, you mean time?
Time-wise. When the pastor started the church, he's like, we're going to start at 10, and the Georgians are like, no, that's too early. That's way too early.
Noon?
He's like, okay, 11. We have to do 11 because we have to get done with this today. So they started service at 11, but then they show up late, and they all show up late. It's kind of the culture there. So that's one thing there. So that's during probably like after the first song announcement time.
Okay.
Once you get to finished with songs, you guys may know how this is.
Oh, not
It's
here.
really full. It's kind of like college town areas. Things happen like that. So when we first got there, the first Sunday, I remember I was like, wow, this is pretty full. This is cool. And it seats about 200. Pretty exciting. And then from then on, it's only been like, grab chairs, move stuff around, get more people. How can we shuffle this around? And it's been doing nothing but growing. And it's really, really, really exciting. There are a couple reasons why it's growing. I guess around 2021, they had about 40 people attending the church, and then the war broke out. And when the war broke out in Russia, you had Russians who were on the war front line, and you had Ukrainians on the war front line, and Georgia became a refuge for them. And so the Lord has used that war in a lot of ways to bring in believers that were already believers to find sanctuary in the Lord, but also a lot of non-believers who have come to the Lord are now attending the church.
Ukrainians and Russians.
Ukrainians and Russians sitting next to each other, and Georgians, and all of them have constantly, historically, had conflict. But when you're in the church, you can't tell. It's super amazing.
One in Christ.
Yeah,
That-
100% one in Christ. So the demographic of what the church is right now is a minimal number of Georgians. They would love to see many, many more Georgians, but at that point, it turned into an international church. So lots more people just started to come in, and Tbilisi itself turned into a very international city because of the visa laws. That's why we can go there, is because we fly in, and when we fly in, they stamp your passport, and they say, the ICE family's here, and they can stay here for 365 days. And then once they leave, and they come back, they stamp your passport, and they say, the ICE family's here, they can stay for 365 days.
Leave a day, come back
So
for another year.
people will drive to Armenia, go into Turkey, take a flight on vacation, and they'll come back whenever they want and have another 365-day reset. So because of those laws and regulations, lots of people are coming in, but lots of ministry is coming in. So lots of Christian organizations are coming in. YWAM is huge there. Lots of Persian ministry is happening there, reaching out to Iran because they're on the border of Iran, trying to get information there and trying to reach people who are coming into the country from Iran and have Iranian conversion. There's a lot of ministry that's happening that's in that area. Also people that are coming there for conferences and retreats and stuff, because everybody can come to that area and then disperse back towards other places
It's a
of
hub.
ministry.
It's
So
a hub for people to come
it's sort
from.
of, it's, when I think of America and Philadelphia being called the melting pot, it feels like to me, Tbilisi and Georgia itself is like the melting pot of Eurasia, and that whole area, people are just coming and going all the time. So the demographic of the church is less Georgians than we would like to see. We'd love to see many more. You could maybe get to 20% Georgians if they all showed up for church, and then probably about 50% Russian, and then the rest are a conglomerate of missionaries and English speakers, and a lot of Indians who are coming, East Indians who are coming for medical school. So there's a huge population of Jim's people there. And
Don't get offensive now.
no, I won't get offensive. I heard something about that.
No,
There's
that's
a
a
huge
joke.
population of Indians.
I was
that are there.
I was surprised at how many Indians I was seeing in the pictures there.
There's probably about 50 that come on Sundays. And so right now,
So when I come visit you in 2 weeks, I'll be around my people?
you
Is
will.
that what you're saying?
You'll be around your
That's
people.
amazing.
You'll blend right in. You could be Father
No,
Jim.
I won't blend
be
in.
like
The
Father
thing is,
Jim.
I won't blend in. Once I start talking, they'll be like,
Yeah.
you're not really.
But what's funny though is a bunch of people from India are actually not from India. Like they go to some of the like Saudi Arabias and Portugal and Spain, and they'll go to the north of Africa, and then they'll come in and send their kids to Georgia. So it's weird it's weird trying to figure out who everybody is and where they're from.
I think
Everybody has a story that's hard to figure out.
what you just said, it just really struck me, Church. I was just thinking about this. So it'd be as if Telios was 20% American, 50% Mexican, and then whatever, 30% Canadian. Like, when you were just talking about how there are a minority of Georgians who are
Yeah.
coming to this church in
Yep.
Georgia.
Yep.
That's a very interesting dynamic
Yeah.
for a church.
And
you
so,
know?
yeah, so the church leadership is trying to keep it as Georgian as possible because they want to reach the Georgian people. That's why they came there. But they also want to serve whoever comes. So it's 3 American pastors who are all missionaries and have been in all sorts of different places around the world, speaking English messages that are then translated live next to you in Georgian. So then Georgian is being put out to the people. And then there's Russian translation through a microphone that's done into earpieces so that the Russians can have their translation at the same time.
So somebody who comes in that's Russian and only understands Russian would
They
get
put
an
an
earpiece.
earpiece in, yep, and then the whole service, except for worship, can be translated into Russian. And then worship, we sing in all 3 languages, so they'll conglomerate it together. When it's Georgian, they'll give you the phonetic reading so you can try to read it underneath. When it's Russian, usually they'll give you Russian and English. They don't usually give you the phonetic for it. And then you have some songs in English. So it's all
That must
mixed.
be beautiful to hear and be
It's
a part
super cool.
of.
It's super cool. It's really fun when it transitions. Like you can hear, you have an English song, and then they'll transition in the same song to Russian for like the chorus or for the verse, and then the whole church switches. And there's no like stop and this is what we're doing. It's just the words change and they start singing it in a different language and you just go for it. And then even some of the worship leaders can't speak Georgian fluently at all, but they will still put the energy into phonetically sing it for the Georgians. Or they'll do it for Russian too, for the Russians to sing it phonetically so that you can have that unity together. So with that, the church is growing, the school is growing. We had 7 students last year, 1 graduated. This year we have, I keep getting mixed numbers, between 17 and 20 students. So with that alone, you have 20 more people coming into the church. And then when the Indian students come back for school, they're looking at, there's no way we can have this many people in the church. We need to figure out how to have 2 services. And so be praying for the leadership as they're planning on doing it September the 7th. So in 2 weeks, they're going to 2 services.
Whoa.
But how to do that with still keeping unity without just going Russians, everybody else, because you don't want to make a segregation like that. And how do you do that with unity instead of creating cultural separation? So,
That's interesting. Is every church has its own challenges as growth happens.
but they're good challenges.
But they're good challenges.
They're good challenges.
Because you have to trust the Lord in each of these
Yep.
changes that are coming up.
Yep. And so as you are doing your 3rd service and talking about we need Sunday school help, they need Sunday school help, but they also need translator help. They're like, how do we translate for 2 services? And we need, so it's a whole other layer of helpers and volunteers and involvement. So in Sunday school, our girls are upstairs and they have it generally done in English, but sometimes it's done by a Russian, but they usually have English and Russian going for the Sunday school classes. So they have to have translators for Sunday school too, up there as helpers. So it's just one more layer of fun to add into an international church.
My hope, and as we had talked, is you guys are making contacts and all of those things, the opportunity for people to come and be a part of the mission field, either short term or longer term. Is that the reality of that becoming more real for you as you're seeing opportunities?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously we're thinking and praying about us and like, Lord, are you opening doors or opportunities for us? Have fun in youth group.
Yes.
Praying for our family and what the Lord may be doing with us. But we're also making all these connections with people. So yeah, with that, there are loads of opportunities. And we've only seen bits and pieces of Europe and seen what's happening in Tbilisi. But the Markey family started their missionary journey in '92. After the wall came down, they went to Ukraine. And that's Pam Markey, who teaches the mission class now. She has 8 children, and then they adopted a Ukrainian girl. And of them, a majority of them are missionaries. And so she's there at the school with her son-in-law as the starting pastor there, and her son as one of the assisting pastors there and teachers at the school. And then she has 2 sons in Ukraine, one who's been in Jordan planning a church, who is now back in the States, but working with a bunch of Muslim ministries to help support them in planting churches. They planted a church in Kyrgyzstan, which is a Russian/Muslim country, and planting churches there. They have one of her kids is in England doing work, so there's lots and lots of ministry just within this family that's associated, besides the fact that they do a class called Evangelism and Discipleship. And so all the missionaries that they've met and pastors that they've met over the years, they just call them up. So it would be like me going, hey, Jim, you want to do a class? Call in at this time in the morning and tell us a little bit of your testimony, give a message for people. And so we're meeting pastors who are Americans who have served in Africa. We met a Japanese guy who is Japanese, went to America to Costa Mesa, and then got sent back to Japan and planted a church there. So he's a Japanese pastor. We're meeting all of these people all over the world that are there connected, sharing their testimonies, sharing what the Lord's doing around the world. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity. So a little plug. If you're interested, the school is amazing. if you want to have an opportunity to learn, you want to have an opportunity to grow, they have the 1-year mission program, which is what we're doing. They have a 2-year Bible school that you can do, which is a lot of the same courses, but it's a couple more classes that are just Bible and not mission focused. So you have that as an option to go. They have dorms if you're younger, things like that. We obviously had to rent a place. So that's an option. But also, if you're interested in somewhere and you're like, my heart has always been turned for, sort of like Amanda and I were, always been turned for Europe, and we don't know what that means. Well, now we've been to Europe. We've been around. I have a phone call next week with someone who's in Finland that we met, who's like, hey, let's keep in touch. I got a text message when I was in Austria waiting there with one of the pastors who's in Germany that I didn't meet, that was like, hey, we'd like to meet. Do you want to maybe fly out and contact us? You can teach on a Sunday and we can get to know you and we can pray together and see what the Lord's doing in North Germany. They're looking at starting a Bible college in South Germany near the France border. Italy wants to start a Bible college. We're not sure what's happening with that. So all these things that you don't know about that are churning in the background, that pastors are praying for workers and praying for people to be plugged in.
That is the
short
limitation.
or long.
Workers for the field.
Yeah, workers for the field. When we were in Germany on the west side, we were near Mannheim area, like I said, near Worms. They had a small area, population of 15, 20,000. You know how that is, so like in Arcata. And then a bunch of different, they call them villages, but a bunch of different Ferndales and Fortunas around. And they're just spread out. And they're like, we want to put churches all over the place. And we got one guy who started a home church, but can't be a pastor right now because he's got a business, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And he turned his upstairs of his roofing business into a sanctuary. And so people are coming to his roofing business, but like they want to plant a church and they want to make it associated with Calvary Chapel and get it on the map and get things happening. And there's another church that doesn't have a pastor that's looking for people to come and help and be a part of it. And it's been elder run for a couple years. And there's all these little churches that they want to just reach everywhere, because every German city has 2 churches in it, but they're just the steeples. They don't have Bible-believing, Bible-preaching, Bible-living churches. And they're like, all these people need church. And that's just that little window of Germany that we saw. We know that Italy feels the same. We know that France feels the same, just from the things we're hearing about what's going on. So, yeah, lots and lots and lots of opportunities. So if the Lord's stirring you, I can now attest, it feels like forever away and impossible to get there. But once you get there, the doors and the opportunities can swing wide open because you're over there. It's like if you're taking your family to Disneyland. It is. It's like that's forever away. It's 14 hours. But then once you do it, like you're in Disneyland, you get to explore the whole thing and you can do it. And your family's in Disneyland and let's go, and you're just going to go for it. And it's the same thing. Once you're over there, or once you go somewhere, if the Lord opens the door, it's going to be open and you can just go and do. Short term, long term, whatever. So, yeah, lots of things available. I don't want to ramble, sorry.
No, you're not right. No. I mean, nobody wants to hear me. I talk all the time, so this is good. No. Can we put up a picture of the family again? I want you, if you can just go through each of the family members and tell us a little bit about what you've noticed about what the Lord's been doing in their life in the this year so far.
So that was in February, that picture right there, and we made a snow day. I don't know, any of you who have Facebook and are following us, you get to see some of these pictures. I'm trying to figure out how in my newsletters, I might need to ask someone more techie, how to make like collages and put pictures in on those so that we can get more of those out in the newsletter form.
Amanda, your wife did send out a newsletter just yesterday, actually. An update. Or was that you?
Yeah.
Oh.
We just write them as
As
ambiguous,
Oh,
so
gotcha.
you don't know who did it.
Good job, by the way. I read
Oh.
it. It was great.
Oh, thank you.
If somebody wants to get on that newsletter list, how do they do that?
So we have a flyer on the Connect table that Carly does such a wonderful job of managing for us.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom of that, there is an email, or somewhere in there, there's an email on there that says, if you want to stay connected, and you can send an email there that says, hey, we would love your newsletter, and we would love to send that out to you. Or you can talk to me afterwards, and I'll write your name down, or send a text message, or I don't care, Facebook message.
So let's talk about the kids here.
Back to kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so Caleb is the one in the back with the bluish beanie. He's our 17-year-old, and he's the one that we said, we want to do this. Are you up for it? Because you're going to graduate soon. He's going to start his senior year. coming up this month sometime whenever we actually start school, because we're homeschooling. And he's like, yeah, Dad, if we're going to do it, let's do it. Let's go for it. And he is doing great.
Okay, so that's Caleb.
That's Caleb.
I want to say he's very much influenced by you. Do we? Yeah. So we have that. And
So
then-
I don't remember. I took this picture, but I don't remember who wrote that. But he was laughing so hard. One of the guys wrote that on him when they were joking around on Wednesday night Bible study.
Yeah, but see, the thing is,
Yeah.
let's go back to the earliest picture of David that we have. I think there's a little bit of, and who's that in the background? Is Carly? Carly, is that you back there?
Okay, so
So David, I feel like your son, again, how many kids were in your life at this point?
I have no idea. I don't remember. When did the TV show Lost end? So
David, do you still have those tattoos?
no, Amanda does good art, doesn't she? So
With a
that was a
Sharpie.
fun thing. Okay, well, quick sidebar here.
Yes.
The Patton family always loves having people over. And so one of the things we would do is, I think it was Wednesday night, but the TV show Lost started. And that's where they plane crashed. And it was the weirdest show. And I don't even know if I can recommend it. I don't know what was on it anymore. But it was such a weird show that we were always like, what's going to happen next? And so then they just started inviting whoever wanted to come. And then Rob, who's the dad in the back there with the hat, would always go, what happened this episode? And we're like, I don't even know. But we as friends all ended up going there through the whole series. And this was the last one, I think. And so we all dressed up like somebody. And one of the characters had that tattoo.
Oh,
He had bigger arms and looked way cooler. But we still wrote that on me. And that was a dress-up fun last
When I saw
Lost day.
Caleb's picture, I thought, this reminds me of
Yeah.
an earlier picture. So, sorry, did I
Yeah,
interrupt you?
That was a long time ago.
Did I interrupt you when you were talking about Caleb?
I
No.
did, yeah, you did.
Sorry,
Thanks.
carry on.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Caleb loves his mom. He's a mama's boy. No, just kidding. He's a good kid. So, fun story about Caleb. It was probably almost 10 years ago. Actually, his whole life, he's always done this. Whenever music's going, always tapping his foot, and we're like, we should get you a cajon. That's the little box that has the snare, and you slap it, and we should get you one of those. And he's like, yeah, that'd be good. So we got him a drum set, and he didn't really play with that. We got him a cajon, and his grandma bought him one, and we built it. So it's like, you build it, and he's like, cool. And we built it together, and he never played it. It just kind of sat there, and he put a cool Star Wars thing on it, and he played it a little bit. He's like, this is cool, but never really did it. And then he came to Bible college and saw all these cool college kids playing the cajon, and how cool it is that we can beat on that thing. And he's like, hey, can I borrow the backup one from the church? And they're like, yeah, what? Go ahead. And then all of a sudden in our house, Caleb's upstairs with his headphones on listening to Phil Wickham or whatever. And the next thing you know, he's doing cajon worship on Wednesday night. He's talking to one of the kids, and they're like, hey, come on up here, let's do it. And he's like, I'm going to do it, Dad. I'm like, go for it.
That's awesome.
And so he's doing it. When we were in Germany, the pastor was leading worship. He was practicing when we first got there, and he goes, hey, you have a cajon, can I play with you? And he goes, sure, let's go for it. And so he played in Germany, not knowing what the songs were, some of them in the wrong language, and he's just up there going for it, and he's got a gift. But those are the things where he just branched out and went for it.
Wow.
And yeah, and the missionary heart, the leadership heart, the mindset of, I can't say it's all missionary, I'd say Jim has the same thing, but just that, let's go with the Spirit and what the Spirit's doing, where the pastor wasn't like, how long have you practiced? What's your professionalism with the cajon? We'll practice for 10 minutes and we'll see if you're any good. He's just like, sure, let's go for it. Let's see if it works.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, he is coming out of his own, coming into his own, whatever that may be, growing up, and he's doing well. He's got a bunch of friends. He's at that in-between. I know you've heard about youth group there, is ages 13 to 30, so he's right smack in the middle. And, yeah, doing really well. Him and Micah both took Acts and Romans with me, and he loved going through the word study that we did in Romans. And so breaking down what the words were, going into the Greek, and he kind of he nerded out in that in a good way. He learned that tool and loved doing that. And so, yeah, he's doing really well in that and making good friends and plugged in. Him and Micah got to teach Sunday school together one week. They were kind of short Sunday school teachers, and they're like, hey, you want to do it? And he's like, yeah, I think we could do it. Well, how about we put Micah and you together, and then somebody else will translate it into Russian. And so Caleb taught, and Micah did some of the activities that went along with it, and they taught I think it was like 7 to 12-year-olds they taught the Bible.
That's awesome.
So yeah, pretty awesome.
So you mentioned Micah.
Mike is the one there in the red. He's the one who always grows
Wait,
right.
wait,
at
there's
his-
like 3 boys wearing
Oh,
all red.
They're
in that
all red.
picture.
He's the closest one. He's the closest one in red. You're right. That's really funny.
You're like, he's the boy in there. I was like, okay, well.
Yeah.
So Micah's the closest to the
Mike is the
camera.
closest one
Yeah.
there. And here we are eating some German pastries. That was fun. We're like, let's just get a little smorgasbord and see what they do, and what they have. He is our farmer boy. He still loves agriculture. He doesn't really have a way to do it so much. We're trying to get him out to a sheep farm where he can go be there and do some things with them. One of the guys who is in the church, their parents have a sheep farm that they've used for ministry, and so we're trying to get him plugged into that. But yeah, he's a linguist. We had no idea. No idea. He's always, when he goes into things, he always goes full steam ahead. That's how he broke his leg when he was 5 riding his bike, because he was trying to take the turner at full speed, because that's what he does, and then he rolled up on his leg. But he has taken on to language, full steam ahead. And
The language is German we're talking
the
about.
language here is German, though, because Duolingo doesn't have Georgian. So we couldn't learn Georgian on Duolingo. We paid for tutors a little bit in June because we were there and we had that opportunity. So they did 3 or 4 lessons of Georgian, which actually they learned some animals and they learned some stuff, and that was fun. And they used it, which was great. But our whole family started doing Duolingo German because we knew that we were going to Germany, or that we were working out how to get there. And yeah, he's just taken off with it. So much so that when we were leaving Germany, he needed an upgrade from Duolingo, and he's like, what's a better program? So he found another program, and you have to test in to find out where to start you. And he tested in the middle of 1B. So there's 1A is your basic, 1B, or A1, and then A2 is your next step. And if you've completed A2 is when you can actually get, like, to become a resident or to get a visa to come in, you have to be able to do A2. And he's already halfway into his A2 and not completed it, but he's already halfway into it, and he loves it. He does great. We were at our kids camp that was all German, and they were having the leadership meeting at the end, and he was standing next to me, and he's all, Dad, do you need me to interpret for you? And I'm like, sure, go for it. And he's all, okay, they're saying this, they're saying that, they're saying this. I was like, okay.
You got a translator right in your family,
he-
a German translator
that
in your
fast.
family.
So
how,
he's all-
old, how old is Micah?
Mike is 15. Yep, he just turned 15. He is 6'2", and too much information. He just grew into a size 14 shoe. They
Yeah.
don't sell those in Georgia, so I have a pair of them in my suitcase to take back to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he said when the pastor was teaching in all German, he's like, I can understand about 70, maybe 80% of it. So he's tracking with the sentence structure and what it means, which is pretty amazing.
God's
He's
gift.
also super cool. Loves to help people. Anytime someone's moving, anytime somebody needs help around the church, he loves to get there early. We'd have to set up the chairs and everything before church. He loves going early with me.
The physical tasks.
Yep, always.
Wow.
Yep. So he's all about it. And then this one goober that's closer with the hood on, that's Levi. 12 years old. He'll turn 13 next month. And there he is, playing German games with the German kids. He got to go to German kids camp and be a kid because he was just at the age 12, to be able to participate. So him and Amelia were in there listening to German Bible lessons and having German question and answers and participating with them fully. So we had full immersion at that camp, 100%.
Wow.
So yeah, he's doing well. Like, he's still 12, 13, so like, what do you say about him? He's not like diving into ministry, but at the same time, there's a kid or a young man who started to do Sunday school for the younger kids, so like 6 years and younger, 5, 6 years and younger. And he's a college-age kid, and he's like, hey, do you mind if I ask Levi to help me when I'm in there so we can have another boy in there? Because we got a couple girls that I'm working with, and do you think he would want to work with the kids? And I asked Levi, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So now he's on the schedule to go help out with the younger kids and participate in Sunday school and just love on them and be a part of it. He's got a big heart. He loves to help people. He's at the in-between also, but as soon as he got there, the pastor said, you're 12, but on Saturday nights you're 13, so you can come to youth group. So he is hanging out with the 13 to 30-year-old group. So he's kind of being pushed in that maturity level, which is probably really good for him, to be pushed in that maturity level and hang out with some older guys. But yeah, the effect that the Bible college students have on my kids, and just knowing that the Bible college kids are growing in the Lord, and then my kids are hanging out with them and going to ice cream afterwards, and they're hanging out till 10 or 11 on Saturday night, and I'm trusting my 13-year-old to them, and it's pretty neat to see them grow and do those things. So that's fun.
So then let's switch to the girls. Amelia.
Amelia's the close one here, the blonde.
Uh-huh.
She just turned 11, and we're like, what do? We have this trip planned, and she said, please don't have us fly back on my birthday. I don't want to be in an airplane on my birthday. We're like, okay. So we extended the trip a little bit longer because we were going to leave the Mannheim, Grunstadt area where we did the kids camp, like on the 18th. I'm like, well, we'll fly back the 18th and be at our house the 19th. That's kind of boring. So we extended our trip to the 22nd, and we drove down to France, and she got to spend her birthday in France. How cool is that?
Wow.
For a 11-year-old girl.
Wow.
I don't have the picture up, but she got to have a macaroon tower. So we got French macaroons with one big one for her and a bunch of little ones for us.
She's never going to forget that birthday.
I know, right? So cool. She's growing up a lot, not just in the fact she's turned 11 and getting really tall and all that kind of beautiful thing, but she also, from the very beginning, when I started doing Sunday school with my service hours, has come along with me. So she's been in the age 6 and younger, helping out with the kids and loving on them and spending that time. She has a couple close friends. One of the pastors has kids that are girls that are 16 and 14, and she gets along really well with the 14-year-old. They spend a lot of time together doing little crafty things and little girly fun stuff together, and so they hang out together a lot. And she's doing really well. Not giving too much information, but her and Caleb are our ones that are more like me, a little bit more rigid and a little bit more like, how's this going to work? And I need to know it all before I go. And they were the ones that we had to be like, do you want to do this? Are you good with this? And they're like, yeah, let's go. And so seeing them flourish and seeing them grow is really fun in that. So I don't remember when it was, but I was on the Metro with her, the Metro Underground subway. And I was like, hey, I got our family here. Why don't you get us back? Like, get on the Metro, get us on the right line, and tell us when we're getting off. So the stop before, tell the whole family when to get off, and I'll be right beside you. And she handled it like a champ. Awesome. And she's reading the signs and figuring out which one we're on and going the right way. And Caleb's all, hey, I was like, shh, you've done it before. Let her go. Mm-hmm. And so she was able to do it. And so just giving her chances to grow, and that's really cool.
Wow, what a confidence boost there.
Yeah, right?
That's amazing. Okay, we have 2 younger girls here.
Okay, so if you see the little face
that's poking out
with the bangs,
cute
they're so cute. That's Adley. She turned 3 while we were there in April. There she is. Ridiculously cute. That's at Germany at the kids camp. She's adorable. So when we were here in the States, it didn't matter whether we were at Telios, whether we were at Hydesville, whether we were at my mom's church. She wouldn't go to Sunday school. She just wouldn't commit. She wouldn't go in there. She's a brave little soul, and she will tell you what she's thinking. And she's thinking, I'm not going to Sunday school. I'm hanging out on your lap. And since we went there, the first week in Georgia, one of the staff that's in the school that she had met before already said, hey, I'm doing Sunday school. Come on in. And she came in, and her, as well as Audrey, have gone to every Sunday school with every teacher. Didn't matter what country we were in, whether it was in German, whether it was at the conference when we were up in Sweden with whoever the teachers were. They hung out and they stayed and they did the Sunday school. So she's coming into that just like that's an amazing step for her and for them, both of her and Audrey, to do that. Audrey had the same reluctancy. She also got a scooter for her birthday, and I don't know if there's a picture of that or not, but she absolutely loves scooting. They scoot everywhere, anywhere they can, and everywhere they can, and every day it's like, can we go to the skate park? Can we go to the skate park? And now they have fountains. It's so cool. They have this flat spot at the park right beside us, and the fountains shoot up, like a ton of them. And so they'll ride their scooter right through the middle of it, just getting blasted, and they just love it, getting all wet. Wow. And so, yeah, just feeling free in that, scooting along. And then one day I was riding with her on the scooter, and we stopped because someone was opening up their gate to bring out their like Vespa or whatever, their little motorized scooter. And the guy stopped and was like, go ahead, in Georgian. And she's all, Madloba, and then rolled on. And I was like,
what's Madloba?
Madloba is thank you. And I was like, excuse me, like, do you know what you just said? She said, Madloba. And I was like, you know that means thank you, right? She said, uh-huh. And off she went. And I was like,
Wait, how old is she?
come on, she's 3.
3?
She used it right, in the right context, the right way. I was like, that's ridiculous. So they are picking up a lot. I got translators all around me.
Okay, last but not least.
Last but not least, Audrey, the one with her head sticking high and the red hair. Man, she's a firecracker. What do I say about that one? She is Daddy's little baby. She's clung to me a lot. She's on my shoulders a lot. I just think about how much she's grown in all of our transport and moving around and doing things. So when we were in Germany, we rode the train from Central South at Munich. We ended up going all the way around and up into Denmark and up to Sweden and then all the way back and then all the way to the west side and then all the way back again, all on different trains. So we're jumping trains all the time. We're paying for them, not jumping them like the Wild West. We're jumping from one train to the next. And she's carrying her backpack and she's rolling one of the rolling bags and she's willing to go for it. There's times where she's like, oh, I'm not doing it. I'm tired. But like she just wants to go and she wants to do. And I think the Sunday school thing's a really big thing for her, being willing to go and participate in that. But then, yeah, she's willing and ready to go. And she's made a couple of really good friends. 2 of the pastor's kids, one's 7 and one's 8. And they just absolutely adore our 2 girls. And they hang out together all the time. And I got a video the other day that was like, Dad, we went over to Emma's house. She's 7 and one of the pastor's kids. Oh, yeah. So I'm watching it. Yeah, we had a good time. And Audrey's on. We had ice cream. And by the way, ice cream is everywhere because it's hot. You see it here. Ice. By the way, you see
Ice
what it's
crime?
called?
Ice
we
crime?
found a place called Ice Crime, and we're like, we have to go there, right? Of course. But in Germany, they have ice cream even more, and it's called ice. It's not spelled like ice, but it's pronounced ice. And so our last name pronunciation is ice cream. So we're like, we gotta go all the time. So she loves her ice cream.
I mean, I love it. She's right in the center of that.
Like,
Right
let's
there.
go. Let's
Yeah.
get ice cream. Every day. Dad, can we go to ice cream? Can we go to Luca Polari and get ice cream? That's what it's called there. So I don't remember what I was saying exactly about her, but yeah, playing with the friends. So they went and they got ice cream, and then Adley's all, yeah, and we played Barbie together. And so they went over to the friend's house and they played together and they had a blast. So they've got some good friends that they're hanging out with.
That's so awesome to see the connections that your kids are having with other kids, you know, and that they're not isolated or they're not having a hard time integrating, that they're not, you know, it's just it's an answer to prayer in so many ways, I'm sure, for you and Amanda.
Yes.
For us as a church, too, as we think about you guys, you know, that we didn't want you guys to be isolated while you're out there. And the Lord's brought so many people around you guys there, which has been such a blessing.
Yeah, so the pastors there are really great. Jed, the one who started it, he's the one with Emma. And he just has a real gentle heart and a real caring heart. And so as he's looking at transitioning the church to 2 services, he puts out a text message to the interpreters group, puts out a text message to the worship team, and he's like, hey, you guys are valuable. We're thinking we need to do this as a leadership, but we can't do it without you. And so that's how they're running the ministry. They're not just going, here's what we're doing, and we need to do it double now. It's like, let's see how we can do this together, and what's this look like? And then we had a meeting last Sunday, and everybody had the chance to voice concerns, say opinions, throw out different thoughts, whatever they were. He processed those thoughts with them, even the ones that you knew were crazy. Like, you know, you hear one and you're like, that would be so cool, but you know there's no way it's logically ever going to happen. And he still let the person walk through it. And with the text message strand, I saw it, and then the guy goes, yeah, that probably won't work at all, will it? And so he walked through it until the person got there. But that's the heart that he has, and it's just really gentle in the same way. Like, we have a concern, and he's like, yeah, what do you need? What's going on? And let's talk about it, or let's go through it. And then Kurt, another pastor, is the same way. He's just really gentle and a gentle teacher, really good Bible teacher. He knows his stuff, really gently teaching the scripture. He taught us through Romans, and he did such a good job of balancing the scripture of Romans so that we as the church, because it was on Wednesday night, but also the students who dove deeper before the church service in the class, had the opportunity to really wrestle with all that Romans is and come to an understanding. And he did a good job of walking us through that with understanding and not just saying, here's what I say Romans says. And then David's the other pastor, and he's my age, and so we have a blast. We get along really well. He's fun to be around. He just loves our kids, and anytime there's something going on, our kids will be like, hey, let's do that. And he's like, yep, let's go. Let's take them. We can do this. We can do that. And so he's just super great with the family. And so having that connection for us, and then Amanda connecting with their wives and having that together is huge for us being over there, and then our kids meshing together too. So
Well,
we haven't gotten very far, have we?
No, it's good. It's good. It answers quite a few questions. I know there's many more. I wanted you to also, David, have an opportunity to, you're supported by your home church, but then also to get the hugs. The like, hey, it's good to see you, and how that just carry those with you when you go back to Amanda and your kids, and we just love you guys very much. In some ways it seems like you've been gone for a while, and in other ways it feels like it hasn't been that long either.
So fast.
But yeah, our hearts are definitely attached. I let David know, this was early on too, that sometimes a missionary, they feel a call of the Lord and they go to a certain place, and then they seek support from different people, to help support them. That's not the way that we were looking at the ICE family. We were just looking at them as a ministry of Telios Christian Fellowship that happens to be ministering in Georgia. And so, and David already knows this, like they're not a missionary family that we support. They are a part of our church family that's just serving in Georgia. So yeah, I think there's a difference in that.
Yeah, it means a lot.
And I don't want you guys to be worried about finances or like certain things that we can help alleviate. We want to do that so that you can be free as a family to go grow in the way the Lord has you to, and it seems like that's what's been happening, and that's our prayer for the rest of this year as well. And we're excited because, to see what happens in December, and who knows what the Lord will do between, now and then, and what doors might open up.
Yeah.
You mentioned, David mentioned a few times, like a study in the book of Acts or Romans.
Acts and Romans.
Acts and Romans.
Yeah.
But see, these are available for us to watch. Like we could actually watch or hear teachings in Romans and all that, right?
Yeah.
How is that possible? So we can actually listen into the same lessons that the boys are listening to, that you're hearing from time to time as well, right?
Yeah, so definitely the Romans class last year was publicized because it was on the Wednesday night church. So what they do for one class a semester, which is one of the Bible ones, is you have class at from 5 to 6:30, and we break it down, and we're doing the word study, and we're going through a book on Romans and talking through it. And then at 7 o'clock we have the teaching of that chapter or chapters that the whole church body is welcome to come and attend. And so those are up on YouTube if you wanted to find that at probably Calvary Chapel.
Tbilisi, yeah.
Yeah,
So I wanted you to know those are available.
Those
so
are available.
If you're wondering, like, it'd be so great to get an idea of what they're learning and things like that, you can.
Yeah.
You can go online and yeah.
And so Wednesday night's done, and so you get to also get the experience of English and Russian. So that one's translated into Russian. And then Sunday morning services are actually available too if you're on Facebook. They only do that on Facebook and not YouTube. But if you search Calvary Chapel Tbilisi, you can see all those and hear that in English and then Georgian. And if you go back to right at the end of July,
Were you teaching?
the end of June.
Did you teach?
Yeah, I taught one. So
Fantastic.
there's one in there. I got to teach Genesis 22, which is an awesome chapter. So that was fun. So yeah, you can catch that on Facebook.
Well, David, I think I'd love to pray with you. We'd love to pray for you.
Mhm.
And you're going to be getting on a plane when?
So I drive tomorrow afternoon. I drive to Sacramento because my mom lives there, and that's where my
Point
flight
out your
is.
mom. Is your mom here today?
Right over there.
There we go. In case anybody didn't know, yes.
And then I'm going to get to meet with my side of the family over there, which will be really cool. We're going to have a late breakfast. And then I fly out at 4, so I got to be there at 2-ish. 'Cause
4
Sacramento's-
p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, because Sacramento's not too bad. Fly out at 4 p.m., ready for it, and I get to Tbilisi, Georgia at 3:05 in the morning on Sunday morning.
Perfect. You got a couple hours of sleep and then church.
Yeah.
You'll be at church on Sunday.
That's kind of the plan. Yep.
And then you'll be the first day of Bible college fall semester on Monday.
On Monday. Sounds like a perfect schedule, doesn't it?
Wow. We need to pray for this man, don't we? Yes, we do. Church, would you agree with me? Papa, we come before you. I thank you so much for my brother David. God, we just thank you so much for David, Amanda, and all their children. God, you have been watching out over them, leading and guiding them. God, you have brought things into their path that have required them to trust you all the more in ways they didn't expect. And God, you have proven yourself to be faithful over and over. Mm-hmm. Papa, I want to pray that you would be with their families that are here that aren't there and do miss them, Lord. I pray, God, that you would comfort their hearts and encourage their families that are here. And God, I pray that you would absolutely do an amazing thing in this fall semester with the kids, the school, the church going to 2 services, God, in the city of Tbilisi. And Lord, I pray that the gospel would spread far and wide. But Lord, I want to pray this specifically, God, that more Georgians would have their hearts stirred, that they have fellowship right in their own cities, but that they would come, that they would realize their need for Christ and would be drawn by your love. We love you, Lord. We thank you for our brother David. Bless him. Give him traveling mercies in Jesus' name. And all God's people said?
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. God bless you.
Oh, man.
Church, thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you so much. And I'm not running away, so if you have any questions or whatever, I would love to talk and share with you.
I, however, am running away, so I'm just
See ya.